Al Kadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Gittin Daf Samech Zayin Amud Aleph, 67a1. Says the Gemara, Imru la sofer v'yichtov, uploni v'yachtemu. Here we're telling you, why is it prohibited for a sofer to be an ed? The scribe, he cannot be a witness. Why not? Says the Gemara, because then what happens is somebody will come, and he's going to say to the sofer to write again to his wife, and then he's going to tell Mr. A and Mr. B to be the ayedim. Umishum kisufa the sofer, and now because of the embarrassment of the sofer, chayshi, we're going to suspect that the sofer will sign with one of the other witnesses. Baal lo amar hachi, and the husband didn't say that, and then it's not going to be a kosher get. Everyone understood what happened? One more time. If somebody gives explicit directions, instructions, and he says, David, you're writing the get. Doctor, right? You're going to come, you're going to sign the get. Now what happens is you have a problem. What's the problem? David starts writing the get, and when he finishes, he says, you know what? If he was allowed to sign, he would have said, you know what? I'm going to sign. Who else did you get with me? So now the other people, they're embarrassed. He did the majority of the work. The sofer is the hard work. Right? All the rest is just coming, you're signing a name. It's nothing. So they're going to be embarrassed of David. They're going to say, Kisufa the sofer, they're embarrassed of the... So you know what? I'm going to sign. And the other, no, you're signing with him. And now he signs. Now, 1 second. The husband gave explicit instructions. I wanted Mr. A and B to sign. The fact that now David signed, he put his foot in it. Because now what happens is that now whoever told you to sign. So because of that, they made a gezerah that the sofer can never sign. So there's no embarrassment of the sofer. The sofer doesn't matter who the sofer can be Moshe Rabbeinu coming and writing a get. He cannot be the ed. He's only the sofer. The sofer is one thing, and the edim is another thing. And now there's not going to be any problem. Okay, that's what the Gemara says. So says the Gemara, Kevan de Amar Mor. Since the rabbi went and he said, the get is kasher. Israel, which means even though it's kasher, lechatchila you're not allowed to do so. Lo shchiach, it's not shchiach, it's not common, right, that the husband will come and say such a thing. And therefore the rabbis didn't make, you understand, because they were actually really saying be'emet, they could actually come and make shluchei ba'alim, not other people to come and to write the get and to sign it. But still the rabbi said, chatan sofer ve'ed, it's going to be okay, right? Why? But it's like with the avad kazeh. It's kasher, but they shouldn't do it. So says the Gemara, why do we suspect he's going to tell only two people? Tell the sofer to write it, and you guys are going to sign it. And then they are going to go and they are going to. And the husband didn't say that. So they said, you're right, it's still kosher, right? That means the get is still kasher b'diavad. But lechatchila, you're not allowed to do such a thing. But it's not common that it's going to happen such a thing. So therefore, they didn't suspect it. Yeah, that the shaliach, that they are going to come and get. So hani chalamanda amar, that's good according to the manda amar that says kasher v'lo ta'aseh, that it's going to be kosher, but you shouldn't do so. But according to the manda amar that it's kasher v'ta'aseh means that you could do it even lechatchila. What are you going to say then? So says the Gemara, Ela Rabbi Yosef tarte amar. Rabbi Yosef for sure was talking about a psul in two of the things. Meaning, if you're going to come and you're going to do such a fashion where you told three people to know, and since we already said that the words cannot be given over, or whether the shliach said mefurash, these people are going to come and they're going to be the edim, it doesn't matter, it's not going to be kosher. But Shmuel only holds with him in one halakha that you cannot give over words. Meaning, this is a tangible object. So if this is a tangible object, I could give it to Mordechai, and Mordechai could give it to Ariel. And you could continue going. Why? It's tangible. There's something here. Words is not tangible. I come and I tell Mordechai, Shalom Alechem, go tell Shalom Alechem. It goes. It's not something tangible that you could give over shlichut. Right? You can't...
the number of the credit card.
That's not shlichut. I'm charging you money.
No,
But he argues on when he says that Omer Imru does not help. He says no, Omer Imru does help. That means if he says go and tell a sofer to do something, that does help. So Guf Amar Shmuel Amar Rebbe says Shmuel in the name of Rebbe Halacha is like Rabbi Yosef that mile lo mimser el shliach. You cannot give over devarim, cannot be given over to a shaliach. You see, you can't do a shaliach with devarim. Yeah. Amar lefanav Rabbi Shimon beRabbi, says Rabbi Shimon beRabbi, me'achar sheRabbi Meir veChanina ish ono cholkin Rabbi Yosef. Since Rabbi Meir and Chanina ish ono they argue on Rabbi Yosef, mara Rabbi lo mar halacha Rabbi Yosef. So why do they say halacha like Rabbi Yosef? If everybody argues on him, why do they say halacha like him? So Amalo, he says, "Shtok b'nei shtok." Keep quiet, my son. Keep quiet. Why? Lo ra'ita et Rabbi Yosef. You never saw Rabbi Yosef. Elmaleh re'ito, as if you would have seen him. Imuko imo. He always has his proofs, which means you could have anybody that argues on him. 2 seconds, he answers it up. So you never saw him. If you would know who he was, his personality, you have people arguing. Let them speak to him directly. In 2 seconds, he answers it up. Titania, as we learned in the Braita, Isi ben Yehuda monesh shulchan shel chachamim. Isi ben Yehuda used to come and used to count. He used to say over, right? Sing the praises of the chachamim. Rabbi Meir, you know what Rabbi Meir is? Hacham v'sofer. He's a chacham and he's a sofer. What does it mean, sofer? He's very meticulous in his melacha. He's sofer b'melachto. That's his. He was a chacham also. He says Rabbi Yehuda. When he used to want to be a chacham, he was very, very chacham. That's a Yehuda. Rabbi Tarfon, gal shele gozin. He's a pile of walnuts, right? Why? He used to come and he used to bring a whole bunch of magazine, right? Just like it comes in a thing. Rabbi Yishmael chanut miyuzenet. He used to be like a chanut which has a whole bunch of things inside of it, right? Just like a chanut. You're a store, so whatever you come in, there's so much of it. They have everything. So this is who? Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Akiva says Rabbi Akiva, Otzar Blum. What does it mean Otzar Blum? He says he had so much chokhmah. It was like an otzar full of different types of dagan and kitniot and different grains and all this. He had everything there, right? Otzar Blum. By the way, nowadays there's a whole bunch of different things that they're called Otzar Blum. Right, it's like a mamash, like this is what it is. Rabbi Yochanan ben Uri, Patar Rochlim. He was like a rochel that he had a whole bunch of different types of spices. In the olden days, when they used to sell perfumes, right? They used to go to people's houses and sell the perfumes. There was no perfume shops. He used to go to the houses and he used to sell different perfumes. Elazar ben Azariah, kupa shel besamim, a lot of chokhmah like besamim. Mishnat Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, kav v'naki. It was very small, but very clean, meaning whatever he knew, you knew there was no mistakes, right? Whatever he knew. Could be that he didn't know a tremendous amount like the others, but whatever he had was a kav, that's why it's a small measurement, but naki. There was no cholent there, right? It was all very clear, right? Nothing there. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yosef, his how do you call this? His reasoning is with him. His proofs are always with him. Rabbi Shimon tochen arbeh umotzi kima. Rabbi Shimon, he used to learn a lot, but come out with a little bit. So now we're going to understand what does that mean. It's a praise. I imagine I'm going to tell you, you learn a lot, but you only come out you understand what's going on. It says the Gemara. Tana, they learned in the Braita. Mishakach kim'ah, he only forgets a little bit. That's what it means. Mishakach kim'ah, right? Eno shochach, he only forgets a little bit. That's what it means. Umashem motzi, eno motzi lesubin. But the little that he already forgets, he only forgets the things which the halacha is not like them. It's like the subin. It's like the brand, not the good fine flour. He's forget. Meaning, if he's already going to forget something, let him forget something that's not important. That's something that's not important.
Motzi kimsa is not that he gives small. It's that he
motzi is to take out. Kim'a is a little bit.
Right, but if he takes out, there could have been.
The Gemara. So to Rabbi Shimon said to his students, Banai, my children, Shenu midotai, learn my Torah, Shemidotai terumot mitrumot midotav shel Rabbi Akiva, because my Torah is the nivchar of the Torah of Rabbi Akiva. Right? Why? Because mamash, I did a borer after another borer, meaning I went and I was taking like only the good parts and I was throwing away all the stones and all the other things. I was doing all these things from Rabbi Akiva. Remember that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a Talmid of Rabbi Akiva. So therefore, if Rabbi Akiva was an Otzar Blum, he was mamash like an encyclopedia, He came and he was taking from the best of la creme de la creme. He was taking the best of the best of the best of Rabbi Akiva. And therefore, learn what I'm teaching you, because everything that I'm teaching you, I already did the sifting. I already did the filtering. Right? So therefore, it's already filtered.
It's
Okay.
songs or just one song?
The Gufa. Let's go back to what we were speaking about. Gufa. Remember, whenever we go Gufa, we're analyzing what we just said. So Gufa means in the Gufa Ma'amar that we just mentioned above, in the body of the text that we just mentioned above, Amar Leshnaim, if he comes and he tells two people, Imru Sofer, go tell a Sofer v'yichtov, and he's going to write a get to his wife. And so Mr. A and Mr. B to come and to sign. Amar Rav says Rav kasher, it's a kosher get. But don't do it in Israel. Don't do it. Why? It's mutar. It's kasher. But don't do it lechatechila. Amar le'ula Rav Nachman, says Ula to Rav Nachman. Ve'amri la Rav Nachman le'ula. Something says Rav Nachman told Ula. Me'achar kasher. If it's kosher. Why can't you do it in Israel? Why can't you do it? If it's kosher, it's kosher. Yeah. Amar le, he said, Chayshinan shema tiskor edim. We're going to suspect that maybe, right, the women will come and she'll pay for edim that they're going to be mishaked, and they're going to say in the name of the husband to tell the sofer and the edim to write and to sign it and to give it to her. So in order to stop that, the rabbi said that you're not allowed to do that without that he hears it from the mouth of the husband. Meaning the husband himself has to be the one commanding the sofer and the edim. If you ever go to see a get, it's incredible. You go to see a get, the husband has to say it in front of the edim. It's Mr. Sofer, whatever your Hebrew name is. I'm commanding you in front of these edim that you should write a get for me, for whatever his name is, for his wife, whatever her name is, and for Girushin, Gemurim, and Mamash, like you have to hear it. Why do you have to hear it? Because it's not very simple. She comes, she slips him a $500 bill. Yeah, another one over there. And all of a sudden, two witnesses come, and they tell the sofer, Mr. David Perez, please write a get. And they tell the doctor and the doctor, right over here, to come and to start signing the get. Really, the husband didn't say anything. It was the woman that she pulled the fast one. She paid the edim. The edim come and say, yeah, the husband told us. No, David had two edim come, chashuv people, anshet surah, very devarim. You're going to tell me now that you're not going to believe them? So he comes and he said, no. Because of that, it doesn't exist. Lo te kazot said. Even if it's kosher, we want everybody, the sofer and the edim, they have to hear it directly from the mouth of the husband. It has to be from the mouth of the husband. So says the Gemara, do we suspect such a thing? Vatanya, we learned to the Braita. Edim achatumim al sedeh mekach ve'al get isha. The rabbis are not going to suspect two witnesses which are signed on a shtar, which is a purchasing agreement, or on a get isha. They didn't suspect that maybe they signed falsely. So answers the Gemara, ma'aseh lo avdi. They're not going to do a ma'aseh avedu checker, which means to come and to testify falsely, they're not going to do. But dibura ka'amri, but dibur they could do. Meaning, to do an action is much worse than speech. Speech, people feel that speech is ifker. So if I'm going to tell Mr. David over here, listen, you know what, do this, even though it could be that the guy lied or whatever, but a guy will say, okay, it's not that bad. Well, what did I already do? I said so. But to do an action, I'm going to sign on something. Or I'm going, there it's much worse. Meaning some people, they'll come and they'll lie. But to sign falsely on a document, that's already, that's already another level. Right? That's already much higher up. Okay? Fine. Next. Amar l'shnaim, if he tells two people, if you tell two people, go tell the sofer to write it, and you guys are going to come and sign it. Rav Chasta comes and he says, kasher velo te'aseh. It's kosher, but don't do like this in Israel. Rabbi Yochanan says, kasher ve'te'aseh. You're allowed to do it. Rav Nachman says, kasher velo te'aseh. It's kosher, but you shouldn't do it. But Rav Sheshat says, kasher ve'te'aseh. It's kosher, and do it. Rabba comes and he says, kasher velo te'aseh. So Rabba is like Rav Nachman, that it's kosher, but don't do it. Rav Yosef says, kasher v'te'aseh. So you keep the ika de apichlu. And some people, they make it opposite between Rabba and Rav Yosef, whether it's kosher or not kosher. Basically, what happens is, is that you have actually, you see here, the big Dolei Ador, Rav Nachman, Rav Sheshat, in the same time, or Rabbi, Rav Yosef, in the same time, that you even had the big machlokot, whether it's, according to everybody, it's kosher. Right? Because everyone said it was kasher. The only question is it lechatchila or b'diavad? That's the only question. So you had the machloket, whether it's going to be between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshat, which usually we actually paskin like Rav Nachman, because Rav Nachman was the biggest Dayanim. Okay, and when you have Rabba with Rav Yosef, here it's mashma that we're going like Rabba, right? And that's I think what Halakha Lama said. That's also going to be the same thing. Okay, 2 dots. Sarazayim ubet, right? 67b. Amar la Sarah. If a person comes and he tells 10 people, Kitvu get li ishti, Kitvu tnu, write and give a get to his wife, right? 1 writes, and 2 of them they sign. But if he tells them everybody should write a get to his wife, so then 1 writes and everybody has to sign. Okay? So Tana Rabbanan, let's see exactly what's going on. It says the Braita, Amar la Sarah, if he told 10 people, Kitvu get to ishti. So imagine, he walks into a minyan, into a Bet Knesset, and he says, that's it. I've had it with Frecha. She's going to drive me crazy. What do? Write a get and give it. Now there's 10 people there. So what happens? 1 person writes, 2 people sign. Right? Echad kotev al yidei kulam. Right? 1 writes, and everybody comes, and then the 2 people come, and they but they're not be that everybody has to do part of it. 1 person writes, 2 people sign. Kulchem ketov. What happens? He comes into the minyan and he says, all of you should write a get. So 1 writes b'ma'amad kulam in front of everybody, right? And then what? And then everybody has to sign. Okay, but everybody has to be there, basically. That means everyone has to.
Between the first and the second.
Which one?
What's the difference between the first and the second? It's still 1 guy.
No,
writes.
he just said no. The first
he
one
said it differently, but in the end, it's 1 guy who writes
and 2 people that sign. And the second one, 1 person has to write in front of everybody. Everybody has to be nochach. They have to be present at the time. Everybody has to be there. B'nochachut kulam. Everybody has to be present at the time because they're all part of it, and they're also going to have to, and they all have to sign.
In the first one, they don't all sign.
For sure not.
Sign.
Just 2 sign.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
He don't want to give the get.
Yeah. We said in the Braita one more time. What happens if he comes and he tells the 10 people, take a get to his wife? So 1 of them is going to take it al smach kulam. That means for everybody else. He wasn't makpi that everybody has to take it, but kulchem olichu, all of you have to take the get to his wife. 1 of them takes it, but everybody has to be there present when they're giving over the get. Ibailehu, says the Gemara, mana otan, mahu. What happens if the husband comes and he counts them? That means he comes, he doesn't say kulchem, but he says, echad, shnayim, shalosh, arba, chamesh, shesh. He counts them. Now he doesn't say all of you have to write it. He just says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, write a get. He counts them. Is mana, meaning counting, consider that he said all of you, or maybe he just said kulchem, right, mnuim kitvu, but he didn't say that everybody, meaning all of you that I counted are considered, but not that it actually is everybody or not. So Rav Huna says mana is not considered kulchem. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Lazar Devin Roma, mana areu kulchem, it is considered kulchem. So Amar Papa says vela plige, right? But there's no machlok between them. Had mana kulu, had mana mixatayhu. What does that mean? Rav Huna and Rabbi Yochanan are not arguing. Each one was talking about it in a different case. One of them was talking about that he actually counted all the people that are there, and the other one said that he was counting the people, only a few of them. So if he counted everybody there, so it's considered kulchem. If he didn't count everybody there, so it's not considered kulchem. It all depends how many. There's 10 people and he only said 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Yeah, he didn't say kulchem, right? So let's say it was earlier. But if there was 10 people, he counted 1, 2, 3 until 10. So then it's 10. It's kulchem. So amri la lahagisa. Do you know that each one wanted to say, right, to their other opinion? Meaning some people say that the chiluk of Rav Papa, this Rav Papa, this Rav Papa, this Rav Plige, that there's no machluk between them, right? Is some people said it that it's talking about, right? Whether it's talking about mana hareu kekulchem or mana eno kekulchem, was talking about that he only counted a few of them. So if he counted everybody there, he showed that everybody has to come and everybody has to do it. But if he only did miksatam, so I'm going to say that why did he do that? He wasn't makpi that everyone should do it. But then afterwards it became a Torah tircha, so then he was chazarbo. At the beginning he wanted everybody to do it, and afterwards he said, you know what, I don't need it. It's too much. It's too Like what the doctor said. He doesn't really want to give the get. He's making it too complicated.
Yeah.
But some people want to say the other way around. What does it mean the other way around? That the chiluk of Papa was the opposite of the first way. Mana, if he counted them, it's going to be like counting everybody. Only if he counted a few of them. And mana, it's not like everybody, is only if he counted all of them. Why? If he only counted some of them, it's a gilui dat that he's makpid, that whoever he counted, he wanted them to be there. So that's why it's like he said kulechem on those that he did count. Okay? But if he only counted, right? But if he counted everybody, so therefore, since he didn't say kulechem, I'm going to say that he wasn't actually makpid mamash like that. The covenant was just to do it like between you guys. He wasn't makpid who's going to do it. Because why didn't you just say, instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, just say everybody? Why did he count? Whoever wants to do it could do it. He wasn't makpid on everybody to do it. Whoever wants to do it could do it. So each way you can, you take the coin and you could flip on both sides how to learn it. Atkin Rav Yehuda begita de kulechem. Rav Yehuda made a takana by a get that he said kulech, right? That he mamad of everybody, but he didn't say the word kulechem. Ketovu kulechem or kulecha vecha minechon. That if he said kitvu or kulechem or each one of you, right? Shalom mamad kulam chatomu kulechem or kol trei minechon. Where he says chitmu or kulchem or two of you, ovilu or kulchem or take it. Because ovilu is like to take it somewhere, right? Whether it's going to be everybody or one of you guys, whatever it is, in all these cases, that in such a case also, right, a person will not make a mistake that the husband is saying that everyone should do it, and therefore he's going to be posel to get, not in the case that they didn't do it. So Rava says, Zimnin the guys sometimes we're going to suspect that he doesn't speak or express his opinion clearly. The Amar, and he says kulechon, that he says all of you. V'lo Amar, and he doesn't say kol chad minechon, all of you, right? Kitfu kulechem, and therefore he says v'ati lepsul, and then it's going to become pasul. And Amar Rava says ketovu kol chad minechon, chatomu kol trei minechon, ovilu kol chad minechon. But rather he comes and he says, you're right. You have to write down that the husband commanded that each one should write it, or two of you should write it, or each one should take it. And in such a case where he's doing it, you're mentioning klal, that everyone is doing it, because then it could come to a takala, as we just mentioned above, that all of a sudden everyone's going to think that everyone had to do it and they didn't do it. It's going to become a problem. Hadran Allah haomer. So we just finished the perek of haomer. 7th chapter, perek Shvi'i. Says the Mishnah. Is a very interesting perek. Somebody that a shed, that his name, that he's going to be, that if you drink a lot of old wine, the shed, the demon comes and he takes you over. If a person drinks a lot of old wine, there's a demon that comes and he takes over the body. So that's the kamana mishachzo, somebody that grabbed onto him, the kordiokos, which that's the name of the shed. The Amar, and he says, kitvu get lishti, lomar klum. So they don't, why? Because we probably say that, listen, the shed's on him. You know what I mean? He's got the demon on him. He's not 100%. No. He drank a lot of wine. After drinking a lot of wine, the shed went and he got onto it. Right now, he's not shetui. There's nothing more to talk about. Okay? So we're still going to say that he's not 100% there because of the shed. Okay? Amar, if he says, kitvu get lishti, right? And then, achazo kordiakos, the chazar Amar, then he says, lo tichtevenu, and the varav achronim klum. What happens now? All of a sudden, the shed got him, and now he doesn't want to give the get. But he said to give the get before he got drunk, before he started getting the shed to come onto him. So it's nothing. Fresh wine. Okay. He says over here, fresh wine, not the I read Yashan. It's Chadash. Chadash. Sorry. Okay, the new wine. Okay. Nishtatek. What happens if a person became like paralyzed? Something very similar, because he became nishtatek. He wasn't able to talk. So he can't talk because of a choli. Not because of kodikuts. He just can't talk. So he became mute. The Amrulo, they told him, you want us to write a get to your wife? He says yes. He nods his head. We're going to check him 3 times. If he says a no, and yes, so they're going to write. And they're going to tell you, is it cold in here? If he says right, yes, so we already know he's not 100% there. So therefore, we're going to check him. We're going to check him out. Yeah, why? Because we want to make sure, right? Yeah, you want to make sure what's going on. Okay, very good. Says the Gemara. My kordikus. What is kordikus? Yeah, what is kordikus exactly? Amar Shemuel, says Shemuel, Dinachte chamra chadta dema'atzarta. What happened was that you have yain chadash, that right now you have new wine that they just squeezed it, and then he drank from it, and he started feeling something weird, right? He started feeling that there's something weird, so therefore he knows. So says the Gemara, fine. So litni misheneshacho yain chadash. So why don't you just say that? Says Shmuel comes teach you Teharucha Kodyakushima. The name of that ruach, the name of this thing is Kodyakus. That's his name. Okay, what do you have to know that? Lekmiya, to make a kmiya. Meaning, when they used to come and they used to be mashbiya, the shedim, right? They had to know what's the name. So Maya Sute, what's his remedy? Bisra Sunka Agomre. He used to take lean meat, right, that was roasted on the coals, v'chamra marka, and yain, wine, which is mazug arbe, which is with a lot of water, meaning watered down wine. Okay, that's what he needed in order to get rid of this ruach. So Amar Abaye says, Amrali em, my mother told me. Who's the mother? The stepmother, right? Because his mother passed away when he was a baby. Okay, so therefore he had a stepmother. Amrali em, l'shimsha bat yoma, to a makat shemesh, which means that somebody has a fever on the same day, kuza demaya, just drink water. Water takes away the fever, so just drink a lot of water. But if it's going to be for 2 days, sikure, you should let out blood. But if it's going to be for 3 days, bisra sunka gumre v'chamra marka, you're going to take the meat, which is lean, right? Basar kachush. Okay, usually sumka means red, but here it means lean, right? So it says over here, right? So he says lean meat and wine, which is watered down. The shim diluted wine. The shim sha'atikta, if it's mamash something that's like a long time, late tarnegola ukimta, bring a black tarnegolet. Velikra sheti verev, you tear it, sheti verev, lengthwise and widthwise. Veligalchel mitziata dereisha. Then you're going to come and you're going to shave off the middle part of the head of the chole. Velot ve'ilave. They're going to put the tarnegolet on his head. Venanche ilave ad misrach. And you're going to leave it there. And then he's going to go into water until his heart is going to be weakened. And then he's going to come out. He's going to come from the water. Right, he's going to start, swimming in the water until he comes out, and he sits. Below, and if not, lechul karte, just eat leeks. And then go into water until his neck. Until he's weak. Right, then he's going to start swimming. And then he gets up and he starts sitting down. Then he's going to be okay. Very interesting remedies. Yeah.
You can also take an Advil and
the shinsha. The Advil had all those things in it.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. L'shimsha. We're talking about the makat shemesh. Bisra sunka gumne v'chamra marka. Litalga for cold. When a person's cold, what are you supposed to do? Bisra shemena. Get a fatty piece of meat. Agumre. Right on the gechalim. The chamra chaya and yain chay, which means wine without any water whatsoever. Yeah. Tavilo basar. Basar yain. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Rav Amram Chasida for Shabbat. That way it'll be warm on Shabbat. Rav Amram Chasida, ki avu mitzarin leberesh kaluta. When they used to come and they used to bother him from the beresh kaluta, havu magni lua talga, right? They used to cause him to come and sleep in the cold. Right? They used to open up his windows, and then he used to be cold. Lemachar amrile, in the next day, the Misharatim told Rav Amram, Mani chalele more delightfully. What should we bring you to eat? So imagine the guys, they were very nice. Imagine you're gonna have a guest, you freeze him in the room, and afterwards the next morning you said, what should we bring you? Yeah. So Amar, he went and he told him, Hani called Aminale, whatever I'm gonna tell them, they're going to bring me the opposite. So Amar lehu, because he already realized if they're already these guys that they want to cause me to suffer, if I'm gonna say bring me steak, they're gonna bring me a fish. I'm gonna say whatever I'm gonna tell them, they're gonna do the opposite. So what happened? Amar lehu, he told them, Basar sunka gumre v'chamar marka. Bring me basarka, lean meat, and wine which is diluted. I told you, what did they do? The exact opposite. He was very smart, this rabbi. They went and they brought him fatty meat and wine, which was not diluted at all. And then he was able to cure himself from the cold. Shamat Yalta, right, the wife of Rav Nachman, because they were causing him suffering. They wanted to cause him to suffer. But he was Rav Amram Chasida. Yeah? It says over here, right, it says sometimes, even though usually they were tzaddikim, sometimes they weren't the biggest tzaddikim, as they say. So that's the problem. Resh Kaluta. Remember, they were positions of power. It didn't mean they were the biggest tzaddikim. Positions of power. Okay?
The best.
So now what happens is that the Resh Kaluta, they went and they did the opposite. Shama Yalta, so the wife of Rav Nachman of Betin heard, and she was the daughter of the Beresh Kaluta. Umayla lebe masuta, so she took him into the Bet HaMirchatz. Umukmi lebe maya debe masuta, de meapche maya debe masuta vavudama. She put him in the chamim of the Bet HaMirchatz until the water became water of blood, because there was so much zeah which came out from him, because he ate the basar shaman and he drank the wine, which was the way. So he started sweating like red. So mamash, the water became red like blood. And then he had these different things that came out. Here it says like different like boils or different things of that. Okay. There's another refuah. Rav Yosef Yasik Berechaya. He used to be going in the mill. And Rav Sheshat Yasik Bekushure. He used to come and he used to do weights. He used to carry heavy things. Okay. He says, do you know when you work, it works, some people, they live on the islands, they're on vacation all year round, right? So what happens? They don't do anything. So therefore, that's why they're always cold. People that are always working, right? So therefore, what happens is that since they're always working, right? So therefore, it's going to warm them up. Elmaleh resh kalut to the Rav Sheshat, says resh kalut to the Rav Sheshat, my tamalu Said Morgaban, why don't you eat with us? Elmaleh, Rav Sheshat says, Delo malu avde, right? Your avadim, I'm not so mech on your workers. The chashid, they're going to be suspected on every minachai. Elmaleh, he told them, Yima, who told you this? Elmaleh, he told them, Hashta mechavin alecha, I'm going to show you. Elmaleh le shamash, he comes and he tells the shamash, Zil gnov aiti licha dakara mechevata. Go steal one of the legs from the Resh Kaluta and bring it to me. Aitule, he brought it to him. Elmaleh, he tells him, Ahadmu li adma de chavuta, right? Go bring me an animal. I to tzlat kare utiv kamen. They brought him an animal with 3 legs. Elmaleh, he told him, this is what? This is a 3-animal leg, like 3-animal. What was a 3-legged animal? What's going on? So they went. They cut off a live one, right? And then what did they do? And then they brought it to him. Elmaleh leshameh. So he told the shamash of Sheshat told the shamash, otvu nami lahach. Put that one back on the table. So imagine, they come, they put the animal there. It only had 3 legs. He asked them, this animal only had 3 legs? They went, they said, no, sorry, we forgot one of the legs. They ran out, they grabbed another animal's leg, and they put it down on the table. Now the Sheshat comes and he tells the shamash, put your leg there as well. So they come and they took the leg that he originally stole and he put it on the table. So now he comes and he tells them, Elmaleh, he tells them, this is what, this animal has 5 legs? What's going on here? Yeah. So Elmaleh,
with the Varinachai.
Yeah, that's every minachai.
Varinachai is that you eat it when he's still alive.
So Elmaleh says the Resh Kaluta to Rav Sheshat, Yihach Yivso, Li Avdu Kameh Demor V'Lechel. Right? So you know what? Have that your shamash is the mashkiach, and prepare the meal. But your shamash is the mashkiach, and then you could eat. Elmaleh, he says Lechai Bechavut. Okay, if my shamash is the mashkiach, I'll eat. Krivu Taka Kamayim. They put the table in front of him. I to come Lisa, they brought meat. And they put something, right, that would actually cause him to choke. Yeah, what does that mean? I mean, basically, they went and they did it to something that they were like, with little tiny pieces of bones and this and that. So now what did they want to do? They wanted to get back at him. He just revealed to the Resh Kaluta that these guys are bandits. So what happened? They want to get back at him. So what do? They come and they put little tiny bones in there. So he's going to come, choke and Kaddish. That's it. That's what they want to do. Gasheshe, right? He felt everything. The shakla, right? He took them out. Kracha besudre, and he put them in his sudar. So he felt all the food before eating it. Look how smart he was. He felt everything before eating it. Okay, that means instead of coming and Rav Sheshat he put the entire thing, right? Sorry. What happened is that he took the entire food and he put it inside of a thing to check it. After he ate, Amri lay, right? The people told the Resh Kaluta, told the Sheshat, Igniv lan kasa de kaspa. We're missing a cost of kesef, and we have to look for it. When they were looking for it, they found the chaticha basar was inside of the sudar of Rav Sheshat. Amri lei, they told the Resh Kaluta, Chazi mor de lo meichel kabayel letzara. And he says, look, he didn't want to eat, right? He didn't want to eat. He just came to bother us. Amar lehu, says Rav Sheshat, Ana mechal achli. I did eat it. V'tama betama dechivare. And I actually tasted a taste of balat shechim. Amri lei, they said, what are you talking about? Chivara la v'la. We slaughtered it today, an animal that had balat shechim. Amar lehu bidku biduchte. Check the animal, right, where you took it, and they actually found it lavan. That means they found it lavan. They found that they actually had shechim, the animal. He says if you have a white patch on a black animal or a black patch on a white animal, it's a siman of a machala. And they actually found that he actually had it. So mamash, like Rav Sheshat was incredible. Okay.